Weekend all the way around. The college football was sensational. A lot of changes going on there. The coaching carousel is in full swing. I mean, it's like one of those carny rides where, they lost control of the thing and it's just going round and round and round and round and round. Okay, everybody get up when you can. No, when you can. I used to read the headlines in the racing form. It was always great because the headlines were so archaic. I mean, they were just paying token homage to the idea that kind of like some of the public service announcements that you hear various radio stations play. I mean, they're obligated to do it by FCC regulations that were written when the Magna Carta came out. Do you really feel in your heart of hearts, having been in radio as long as you were, that the general philosophy of the radio station, go ahead and honor a commitment to do things that were beneficial to the local community? No. All they wanted to know, hey, is Zimmerman going to spill the beans on that account for the casino? That's all they cared about. The time.
Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
On a beautiful Thursday here in South Florida, where we originated from, Jeff Deforrest, Michael Lubie, Lubitz, the Defo Show, and today, special edition, of course, the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Every Thursday, you can play the game, you can win fabulous prizes, and we're operating under a little bit of a different set of circumstances today, and we have also faced any number of technical challenges. And the geezers at Caesars, at least for the most part, we're able to figure it out. So we will have a game of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Now, we were not able to use the fine facilities of ION Channel and their brilliant studio today due to a conflict. I believe they're shooting the remake of Miami Vice in the studios for the next couple of weeks here. So we had to figure out a hybrid edition by way to do this, which you can see the Hialeah Park Clubhouse entrance in the background there. And you can also see one Dave Gurgles Gurgley, who, of course, is a huge part, 25 years together here on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. And Dave, by the wonders of modern technology and some last-minute contributions by the people at Shula's Golf Course, is coming to us from Shula's Golf Course today. David, you look good, kid. How are you?
Doing fine. Thanks to my IT guy, Quan, yesterday. He put in a new PC, fixed the audio on this, and thanks to Lubie, I got a $9.99 earbud from Target that he has to reimburse me for. I don't need.
You could use it, but we'll work on that for next week.
It's part of corporate expense here. Sometimes you have to fund your own future, and so the $9.95, I'm sure will be well worth it in the long run. But you look great, kid, and it's fantastic you were able to do this. Now, we tried to set up the Polyman in a similar fashion, and we ran into also some technical difficulties with that, i.e. the Polyman. What was the issue? We'll ask him himself. The Polyman joins us here via the telephone. And so he is not pictured on the set, but he is with us nonetheless, not only in spirit, but in body and soul. Polyman, how are you on this fine Thursday?
Good. How you guys doing?
Sound good.
Good. You sound good. Anyway, we can't see what you look like, but you sound great. How are you? I mean, what happened? You weren't able to open the email on the computer? This would seem like a rather simple procedure.
Talk about technical difficulties. Lubie was going to walk me through it, and we got to step number one where it said password, and I said, password? What password? That's
Alan London. Yeah.
Very good. Well, anyway, it's good to have you here, at least for this opening segment. Gurgles is on with a ton of questions, so we'll have at least one game today of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge, and if you'd like to play, you can dial us up at 954, a little bit of a different number today, 954-417-0070. 954-417-0070 is the number to call if you'd like to play the game. And Lubie, once again, has a Landlubbers gift certificate that we're going to give away to our top prize winner, plus the fine distinction of being a winner on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. So good to have everybody with us. I had a weird thing happen to me yesterday, speaking of doctors. How did that thing go with Dr. Simon, Polyman? Did that go well?
Yeah, well, he's the best, let's face it. Thank God I went to him. But my arm is sliced up pretty good, and not the most fun thing to do, but it is what it is. But he's the best, he's a tremendous surgeon.
Yeah, I had my first doctor's visit probably in about a year and a half with the COVID thing. Nobody was going to the doctor anymore, and had a prescription that had expired. So the people at the pharmacy called the doctor to say, "Hey, you've got to verify that this guy should get this on a continuation basis." So I had to go there and actually go through the motions of a physical there, or at least a minor physical checkup. But it was weird because the guy did all of the preliminaries, took the blood pressure, pulse, all of that, and what do they do? EKG, height, weight. And so he says, "Okay, just wait here for the doctor." So they, you know how they close the door and you're in like a really small room. All right. So and nobody shows up there for like 20 minutes. And I was thinking, even when the feds were trying to sweat me out in that Mikasuki case, I didn't have to sit. I didn't have to sit in a closed, locked room that long because they want you to come out of there totally intimidated, thinking, "Yeah, I did it. I gave him all the money in the world." But finally, the guy came in and actually gave me a clean bill of health. So that was certainly good news. But
you're gifted with great health. God bless, man.
Longevity in the immediate Deforrest family DNA. My mom made almost 98. My dad almost lived to be 90, and that was after being on like a blue cheese diet for most of his life. So that couldn't have been the easiest thing on the arteries. He needed Drano after a while. They didn't even bother doing any kind of physical thing at the hospital. They just said, "Yeah, you know what you need? You need a big can of Drano to get this stuff out of your system." All right, so many things happen. And I was on a show yesterday, curious to get your guys' opinion on this, because, it's one of those topical things that has no real answer to it, but there could be many, many good ones. And I'm on a show with a guy named Mike Essen yesterday, who is a extreme right-wing conservative internet talk show host. But for some reason, he likes me. And we agreed never to mention anything. I mean, you don't even want to mention anything that rhymes with Trump. While we're on a dump, forget about it. You can't say, "Hey, I took a dump right now. Now I'm happy to be on your show," because he would just start right in with a scathing indictment against my opinions about the 45th president. And so I don't want to get him started. I only had about a half hour, but the topic was, and this is almost Gurgles-esque, the top 10 characters in the National Football League lifetime. Top 10 ever characters in the NFL. So I would think we would have a few similar ones. Now, you're around these guys all the time with your golf tournaments and all the different things and working at Shula's, Dave. So, where would you begin on a list like that? Because there's so many names that could pop into your head.
Well, the first one comes from one of the guys I met when they opened the Shula's in Baltimore, and that'd be Artie Donovan.
Yes.
I mean,
he was number 2 on my list.
Right there. Another one, believe it or not, because of his rap and his personalities, I'd put Mercury Morris in the top 10.
Merck was certainly a character. There's no doubt about that. Leslie Visser chimed in on this. We brought this up a little bit yesterday on the show. She had Gastineau, John Riggins, who Riggins should qualify just for saying, "Hey, nice
up,
rack."
Sandy.
Yeah, to Sandra Day O'Connor. I mean, very kind of reserved, distinguished Supreme Court justice, and Riggins had a few, and he was a character in general, right? I mean, he always stirred it up, whether he was with the Jets or the Redskins, always was making something happen. I had Joe Willie, number 1, Joe Namath, number 1 character. I believe if Joe Namath, Paulie, man, I don't know what you think about this, if he had the personality of, say, Phil Simms while he was playing, the AFL and NFL would still be separate entities. But it really was the attention that he brought because he was an outgoing personality that seemed to go against the grain. It was like Jim Morrison throwing a football from the doors. And, it's still classic, as I've often told the story about how those 2 Swedish blonde models were holding him up as he made his entrance at about 12:30 for a 1 o'clock kickoff for the AFC Championship game in 1968. And then after surviving that, has the chutzpah to go ahead and predict that they're going to beat the Colts in a Super Bowl. So I don't know that he wouldn't be on any list. I had a few others. I don't know. Fred Williamson.
Jim McMahon. Anywhere on
Jim McMahon was on my list. Yeah, it had to be.
Right.
You could almost go straight through with quarterbacks. I had Conrad Dobler at the bottom because at the bottom of the pile, he probably was likely to bite one of your testicles. So that was great. I don't know. Who are you missing, Paulie, man? Chad Ochocinco was one. Yeah, you had to throw him in there.
Another character.
I think you hit it right on the head. I thought exactly of Gurgle's 2 choices, Art Donovan, and of all people, Mercury Morris. He had some especially, you knew him well, and we did a lot of shows with him. Some of his answers were, interesting to say the least. So he was something. And when the great one came up with, Leslie Visser came up with John Riggins, wow, that one skipped by me. That's for sure. Boy, quite a character. Holy mackerel.
And you probably worked the NFL cruise, and you got me on there one time. But I would put Bobby Bell on there.
Bobby Bell.
What a character.
Wow.
Yeah. Despite, yep.
I was thinking Gergel's almost an automatic go-to guy would be Ted Hendricks, the Mad Stork.
Yeah,
Quite a character.
I guess he's so demure now. Yeah, I didn't think of him that way. But yeah, he would definitely be on there.
I also threw Frenchie Fuqua on my list, just for the shoes and the goldfish concept. Yeah. I mean, he was Lady Gaga before Lady Gaga was born, this guy. And doing it as a football player where you were likely to be, beset with any number of assertions that you were not normal for wearing high-heel shoes, period. At that time, I mean, the only guys that were doing that were like Stevie Winwood and the rock stars in Europe, and he's doing it with the Steelers of all teams. A hard-nosed, let's eat some glass and go out and play type of organization. And then putting the goldfish in there was absolutely brilliant. What was it not? I mean, who's walking around with shoes with high heels and a clear plastic heels and a goldfish encased in there? So I had to put him on the list. But it's kind of interesting, and we did not agree on one of my favorites of all time, Wahoo Mcdaniel. How could you not include him? He actually wrestled professionally while he was playing football.
Yep.
And was there not, Paulie Man, great debate around the New York City area as to which sport he was actually better at? And he was a very good football player.
Wahoo sort of had the original Sam Huff rap on him, that after, four players made the tackle, he jumped on the top of the pile, and they would say, tackle by number so-and-so, Wahoo Mcdaniel. But he was a good player, though. He really was.
Not bad,
I would think if you asked the players of that era, they would probably say Sonny Jurgensen would fit that mold.
I threw Sonny on the list.
Yeah.
Any guy that could show up that blasted for a football game and consistently throw the ball for 300 yards would have to be included on any list of NFL characters. It was kind of interesting. Fred the Hammer Williamson, I threw him in there because, he eventually was exposed and they were taking advantage of him as a defensive back after he had just struck fear in virtually everybody with his tackling tactics. But he parlayed that into who knew he could act? I don't know. What was he among the better actors, among athletes that turned to acting? I mean, Jim Brown wasn't exactly, going to star in Othello or anything. But Fred the Hammer Williamson was in some pretty good movies. But kind of an interesting topic. I don't think you can go wrong. They're like a zillion guys.
For sure.
We had a local guy here. I don't know if he ever got to play Shula's golf course. I don't think he was anywhere but Shula's doghouse. Mike Kozlowski. Remember Mike Kozlowski? A real wild man. Yeah, I mean, he'd be riding around with no shirt on a motorcycle with a Dolphins helmet with like a face guard on it.
And an interesting story with him is back then, the Dolphins used to do a day of training at the athletic club and do aerobic classes for flexibility. And Kozlowski was always hitting on the older aerobics teacher we had there, who was happily married with a family. Yeah, so he was a character, yes.
He was a wild man. If he had played longer and was more of a prominent player, he was good for a few years there with the Dolphins, kind of an exciting player, but really didn't have any kind of longevity to his career. I think his nightclub lasted longer, and that only made it like 6 months, although it was very, very popular. But a lot of fun discussing that. Yeah.
I don't know if you remember the year after Namath and the Jets won the Super Bowl, they had a crazy rookie. He might have went to USC, but by the name of Mike Battle.
Yes.
Whose claim to fame was eating glass. Remember? They give him a glass, he'd break it on the table, and he'd eat the glass. But really, then his big claim to fame, which I remember, I hope I'm correct about this, the next year when Willie Lanier and the Chiefs stopped the Jets, which I believe the Jets would have won consecutive Super Bowls in the AFC Championship game, there was still time. They had a kickoff to the Jets, and Battle fumbled the kickoff, and the party was over. But he was a half a lunatic, though, Mike Battle.
I remember Mike Battle was a highly regarded player, especially as a collegian. The Polyman with us here, Dave Gurgles Gurley, who you can see if you're watching the online video stream here on Ion Channel. IonChannel.com is where you find us, and you can find us on the phone lines if you'd like to play the game at 954-417-0070. It's the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge, and always great. Now, are we in? Are we going to get a corporate entry? What's the story on the handicapping tournament that's coming up on Sunday? Do we have any possibility of getting an entry in the tournament, perhaps corporately backed? I'm going to hit Jack Namer up for the money. Yeah.
I talked to Frank last Friday when I saw you in the citation room for Larry Little's event and said, geez, I'd love to do it. I actually have a tournament on Sunday for NPW, National Performance Warehouse, the auto parts people, 100 golfers here at Shula. So I'm out completely.
You're out. And the Polyman, I would imagine, going to be working, Magic City on Sunday?
Yeah, we had 10 more winners, believe it or not. They picked 3 out of 3 last week. I don't know. I think the formula is like this week coming up. There's haves and have-nots. You just the old Freddie the Triple Man thing. Go against the bad guys. Go against the Jaguars. Go against the Houston Texans. No matter what the line is, and you look up 3 minutes into the game, they're usually down 17-0. So you had said the bookmakers in Vegas even getting roughed up a little. I guess a lot of big chalk this year.
Well, you know the litmus test, Polyman, and I was only able to kind of drive by the area there, but I recognize the cars of various bookmakers in the area, and you know they're always very prominent because it happens around mid-season when everybody's getting crushed like a grape. The Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. And you can tell whether the chalk is prevailing or not by the number of bookmakers' cars that are at the boat show. And this year, I don't know that I saw any. In fact, I think they have to have a special designation on their license plate just to be able to park there, bookies, because they know they're going straight to the fancy yachts, right? I mean, there's no messing around there with some 23-foot runabout, right? Yeah, is that a sport fisherman? Forget about that. They go straight to the yachts. And, they're bowling over like DiCaprio and so many other guys that were in town for the boat show there as they were getting ready for Art Basel, where they were going to waste a lot of money on, useless and hard to comprehend art. And so no bookies there. And on top of that, as I've told you, well documented on the show now, in my personal bookmaking activity with my friend Francesco, which I don't know, is that legal? Can you make a friendly bet, or am I going to get hauled off by Nick Navarro right here off the set?
I think you're okay.
You'll be
on
fine.
the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge.
It's in the middle.
This guy's never had a winning season, and this year he is now up 24 units.
Wow.
24 over 500. He's never had a winning season. I mean, and usually is buried by week 3. Right? He's already talking about, well, listen, Defo, we're going double or nothing on the Super Bowl no matter what the total is.
Oh, Jesus.
And so he gets his pick. So he's picking the games. He's 24 units over, right? A guy that's just a lifetime perennial loser who wouldn't know the location of half of the American cities that he's betting on in terms of having their teams represent them. But, it does seem like the haves and have-nots. I think you figured that out pretty well there, Polyman, as you usually do. Now, I also had this question. It came up on the Friday show. And curious to see at what point in time you guys, taking the degenerate SATs, realized that you were very good at knowing how to factor in the juice in terms of calculating what your overall profits were on any given sporting season. Because I was asked this question by my grandson, Liam, who at 6 years old said, hey, Grandpa Defo, can you help me here with a math problem? I need to understand how to factor in the juice. So if a guy is like 24 games over 500, how much, in terms of actual units, is he ahead? Is it like 1, 2? I don't know. Did you ever explore the mathematical permutations that are involved there, Polyman?
Yes, same thing in the first grade. I was around 6 or 7 myself, so, and I learned the hard way on the juice, too.
Yes.
So, but, absolutely. But, your grandson was right on the money there because, you win it's 100, you lose it's 110. You got to figure that in, and so, 9 losses is an extra 90, it's a great stepping stone to, the higher education of math in general, I believe.
It's a required course, a preliminary course, if you want to send your kid to our degenerate daycare camp in the summertime, where the field trips include various harness tracks, visiting old greyhound racing places, an education in Hialeah, and then, of course, how to bet on games. And you have to know already. I mean, we don't have time to teach these kids how to factor in the juice. That has
No.
to be a required educational premise that they already fully understand. All right, Gurgles, I don't know. You're in a holiday spirit. You have some things there. Very well-decorated office. You have the best background of any of us here on the shot on the Hialeah Park Trivia
I've got to
Challenge.
bring one little item in right here. Let me
Yes.
bring it in here.
Okay, yeah, because and if you're watching a video stream, Gurgles very slowly easing back in that rolling chair and picking a football off the shelf. I'm having to do a little play-by-play here. What do you have for it?
When we do all the tournaments, I always take a look at the silent auction items. And we had a really great charity called Catholic Hospice, which helps people be comfortable towards the ends of their lives. And I don't know how many years ago it was, I saw one of the items there that no one was buying was a football, and it was autographed. And I gave him $70 because probably that day beat the broadcaster. I made $800, but it doesn't matter. I looked, and the autograph was none other than Joe Philbin.
Wow!
Right.
So I bought this the week after he was fired, and instead of a fire sale, so I've kept it all these years.
Did it go down in value? I mean, did you get it for 50?
Well, I've been looking at Office Depot for something that kind of erases this. And I was going to change the first name to Regis and then sell it for a couple hundred.
Smoking Joe Philbin, still a classic. When he approached Lubie and me, we were supposed to do a scheduled interview with Smoking Joe out at practice. I believe this was during his very last year as the head coach of the team. Now, we had already found out that his entire defensive staff, which wasn't very good at coaching the defense because they were giving up like 45 points a game, they were huge fans of the show, and had actually they would spend time in meetings discussing whatever it was that we had talked about that day, and they all did impressions. One of the assistant coaches did a dead-on impression of me, and almost anybody can morph into a Lubie impression at any time. You would have to say. I mean, and it was interesting because we're thinking, wow, no wonder these guys stink. They're listening to our show and they're spending all their time discussing it. So they had passed along, of course, the fact that we were referring to Joe Philbin all year as Smoking Joe Philbin. And they told us they even called him Smoking Joe at the training camp there. And so we run into a situation where we're going to interview Philbin. And before we even get started, and he was a gracious individual. And he wasn't the kind of guy that was going to get all angry and spit in your face and say, "Hey, forget about this," and walk off. But he says, "Hey, I understand you guys have a nickname for me." And we're thinking, "Oh no, here it comes." I don't know. Did you ever have that from Shula when your many years of dealing with him? Maybe he wasn't in the best of moods after 3 straight losses, and he says something to you about the way things were going at the place there.
Oh, yeah. When we do the Don Shula show over in Stake 2, when he was coaching, he'd come in at the end of the bar, he'd do the show, and then wave to everybody and leave. And you could tell how that past week had gone. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, so we're figuring, okay, here it comes, man. The guy's going to, give us all kinds of crap here and maybe even have security throw us out of the place. So we said, no, we have nothing but respect for you. You know me. I mean, I don't fight. I negotiate. And so I'm going to try and weasel my way out of it by maybe saying it was like Joe Rose that was calling him Smoking Joe Philbin on another station. And he says, I hear you refer to me as Smoking Joe Philbin. And just as I was ready, for the left hook to the jaw, he says, "I love that nickname." It was kind of like the time, Paulie, man, you were mistaken for Kim Bocamper, which is one of my all-time classic stories. How did that come about? The details, like a lot of things, become sketchy. But I think we were doing a pregame show outside of Dolphin Stadium.
Yes, and Bocamper said, I guess you got me a badge. You all had to have a badge. The security there was something else. And he said, let me your badge. I got to get a good friend in. So he took the badge from me, and you told me slide over a little bit, and you had the plackets, which read, Jeff Deforrest, Defo, Kim Bocamper, and you made up one with magic marker that said the Paulie Man.
Yes.
He did it by
It
hand.
was on masking tape, yes.
I moved in front of the Kimbo Camper one, and a couple came up to get a Kimbo Camper autograph and said to me, "Can we get your autograph?" So I asked for her first name, which was something like Lorraine, and I put to Lorraine, best always Kimbo Camper, and I heard her, and this is you remember, this is a completely true story, and I heard her whisper to her husband, "I thought he was much bigger." Remember?
And I didn't know he looked like Dennis Farina, yeah.
and they took the autograph, though, so I'm sure they still have it today.
Didn't you then devise some kind of scheme where you were able to benefit by pretending that you actually were Kimbo Camper?
Yes, yeah. I got into many venues and many events, as Kimbo Camper. Nobody questioned it. Okay, it's Kimbo Camper. Let them through.
It's kind of like the time we snuck Lubie to the backstretch the day before the Derby on Kentucky Oaks Day at Churchill Downs. And the security guy looks and we said, "It's Pat Day." And they didn't even question it. Like Pat Day had put on like 40 pounds since he stopped riding the year before. I think that was during the Mind That Bird Derby in, I want to say 2008, where all signs pointed to Mind That Bird, and yet we managed to whiff on a $108 nag there in the Kentucky Derby. Dave Gurgles, Gurgley to Polyman Paul Massell. It's the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. And of course, wow. So do we do one of those Steve Martin things? What was the movie, Roxanne? Where the fireman, the handsome fireman that the girl liked. What was it? Hannah.
Daryl Hannah.
Daryl Hannah, yeah, Daryl Hannah. And so she's got a love interest in the fireman, but naturally Steve Martin is really the right guy for her. And do we set up one of those deals where you guys are feeding me the horses and I go ahead and make the moves? Then, of course, if we win, take all credit for it and ace you guys out of the free flights to Las Vegas that are available.
That's the problem.
What do you think, Paulie, man? Can we make these arrangements?
I like the idea. Yeah. It's a good idea. Why not?
I mean, it's going to be a dynamite tournament, and not one, but two seats available to the NHC, which, Gurgles, have you ever been around that, the National Handicapping Championship? Ever had a friend in there and you went
Not
out to
out
Vegas?
in Vegas, but the last time Hialeah had it, I brought 5 guys that normally sit at Fernando's Bar at Gulfstream. We had a great time. The food, everything was terrific. They do a super job.
Oh, very nice. Now, how did you manage to do in the tournament? Did you do any good? I don't remember you being on the podium.
I ended up with some money, actually, at the end.
Oh, good.
I think I started with $200, and I had a voucher for $37 left, I think. But better than everybody else who went broke trying to get to the top, I knew I had no chance, so I had car fare.
I believe, though, in those tournaments, and Paulie, man, you're a very astute tournament player, and we're part of the, I guess, I don't know, were you on like the original handicapping tournaments?
I went to the original. I only tried to qualify for the NHC once, and me and another gentleman, we flew to Sunland Park.
Yes.
In New Mexico, and we, I think they took the top 4, and I came 3rd and made it to the NHC. That was year 1, I believe, maybe year 1 or year 2. I believe year 1, and whiffed out there. Didn't do any good out there. But I was 1 for 1 trying to qualify, I believe.
What about all those tournaments at the Orleans? I always used to run into, and you were always
picked up
on the board there.
Yeah.
What were those?
My own there.
What kind of tournaments were they? That wasn't the NHC?
No, that was way before that. That was the great Muggsy Muniz. May he rest in soul. The
aptly named sportsbook manager, Muggsy Muniz.
yeah, he was legendary out there, because unlike the others, he was the first one that really stood up for horse players. They want people that play. The casinos want people that play the machines. Let's face it. The slots and slot tournaments and this and that. But Muggsy was pro horse player and had some good ideas as he then offered year-round rooms free of charge to some big horse players that lived out there, and just put, they didn't even bother, if they bet with their own bookmakers, just put part of the action through the Orleans windows. But we loved the Orleans, and that was, I believe, though, what would you call it? A mind bets, though. where, you paid so much for the entry fee, then it was based on $100 or $200 win mine bet where you just, no one ever took a horse under, like 10, 15 to 1 ever. You had to have, it was bombs away each and every race. And some of those original guys, excelled at it. Bobby Bertolucci from San Francisco and Michael Abiola from San Francisco were among the two. And, of course, the great Ross Gallows. So, those were a lot of fun, those things, and met really nice people.
There is a commonality there. All of those people that you named, they were expert tournament players. Their last name ended in a vowel.
Yeah.
So, coincidence? I think not. But anyway, the NHC is available. 2 entries into the NHC at this Hialeah Park tournament that's going to take place on Sunday. That's Sunday, December 12th. That's this coming Sunday. So we have to figure out a way where somehow we can maybe put Lubie at one of the tables there and just feed him horses all day. Now, I do agree, Gurgles, and I witnessed this because our good friend and the winner of the last tournament in Hialeah Park, Evan, don't mention my name. I was at Keeneland, and he was in a small tournament there, and I think it also was NHC qualifying. And he fired everything, on the last race. He could have hit it and walked out of there with some money because you keep your bankroll, whatever it is that you have left. But he said there's no point playing these tournaments unless you're in it to win it. Very John Harbaugh-esque.
Yes.
And so, he would have rather busted out and had zero, even though I think the personal bankroll was a fairly hefty wad, like about $2,000 in this one. So do you play to get your money back and maybe make $1,000 on a tournament? Or do you fire that last bullet thinking, hey, I want to go to the NHC and take a shot at $1 million? And I really had great respect for the bold move that he made, even though I probably would have wimped out and hedged.
No, I believe you always went for the to try to get an entry right to the very end, unless there's 2 races to go and you see you're hopelessly eliminated, but you still have a few dollars, but there's some runaway leaders, then maybe you play it easy and take the money. But I'm in total agreement with him. Go for the entry, that's what you're there for.
Yeah, and that's probably why he's going back for a second year in a row, courtesy of the Hialeah Park
good
tournament.
handicapper.
Oh, excellent. As Jersey Kyle says, and of course, Jersey Kyle, a pretty good handicapper himself, as evidenced by his many winners with the Degenerate Stimulus Package horse. He gave out one last week on the show, on the Deal Volkswagen Degenerate Friday, right here on Ion Channel. Just missed to a Safi Joseph special at 29 to 1. Just missed.
Wow.
So, pretty good handicapper. Wow. And he says, don't mention my name, Evan, is the best that he's ever seen. And that's saying a lot because, you've been around a lot of different people, but he'll come up with these 60 to 1 bombs that, he has total faith in, and they'll go off and jog. So, very good. And now his second year in a row, courtesy of the Hialeah Park tournament, that he's going to the NHC. So you can go there. That's the point of all of this. You can take a shot to win $1 million. That's get out money for a lot of people, and maybe get even money for some of us. But $1 million is in the prize pool there. It's like 800,000 to $1 million, first place in the NHC. And wow, you can cash way down. They pay a lot of places there because there's so many people involved. It's a $10,000 buy-in normally, so you can get in as a part of your winning package there at Hialeah Park. Log on to the website. It's hialeahpark.com. The entry form is there, or I believe, I'm sure Frankie's going to be taking entries right up until post time for the tournament. So $500 buy-in, $300 is your bankroll, $1.25 in the prize pool. You come away with whatever money that you happen to have left. As Gurgle said, 37 from 200 in the previous one. Could be 37 from 300 in this one, and you'd still consider it a win because you had enough money to buy something to eat on the way out of there. I recommend the Cuban sandwich, by the way. And that was quite an affair, Gurgles. Just a dynamite job, as always, by the people at Hialeah. And whenever you have those kind of mass catering situations, you're not always sure that the food is going to be the most tempting or of the greatest quality. Wow, what a dynamite job they do there. And then on the way out, it's it's an absolute must to get the Cuban sandwich from the Little Havana Cafe down there. Junior's Bistro, I guess it is now all encompassing there in that area. But great stuff, and a beautiful place to play in a casino.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of the guys, and they had some great entertainment in the citation room. And usually I'll go before, bet Woodbine, go there, then go afterwards. Casino open till what, 2 a.m. during the week, 5 a.m. on the
3 a.m.
weekends.
3 a.m. during the weekdays.
3 a.m. So a great place to go and just a terrific place to do any kind of gambling you'd like to do.
All right, we're going to say goodbye to the Polyman.
Leave it there, Chief Polyman.
And it
All
was
right,
great having you
fellas.
on, Polyman. Good job, as always. Tremendous stuff. And Gurgles and I are going to conduct the game here with Mike Lubitz. We're operating under some limitations here in terms of available phone lines. What do you got? One stinking line?
Yes.
Yeah, so we can take your telephone calls, and you can dial us up anytime at 954-417-0070, 954-417-0070. We'll get game number 1 started of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge in just a moment. But Gurgles, Perdomo Cigars.
Yeah. I was fortunate enough to be involved in a tournament this week for Alex's Lemonade Stand, which they started to cure cancer years ago. And it was at Grand Oaks, the old Rolling Hills, seen a Caddyshack. And, of course, I had my sign from the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge and clipped right on top of the sign, my little cigar clip. There was a nice Lot 23 Perdomo. And everybody said, "You brought Perdomo cigars for all of us?" I said, "Not this week."
It's not the
You can
Oprah
get 'em in-
show. Yeah, exactly.
5150 Northwest 167th Street on the Palmetto on the east side, just a little bit on the south side, a little east of Home Depot, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. I've talked to Nick's promotion guy, and we're going to get some streaming stuff to use when we get back in the studio with Perdomo and the story of his great cigar making. They make them perfect one at a time, 3 generations, 305-627-6700, the number to call, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Or as our buddy Jim Dunn says, why not go online and find out a tobacconist near you, even in Naples, Fort Myers, Chicago, that sells these great cigars. And you can do so by going on www.perdomocigars.com. Next week, I will make sure I have a Perdomo horse for you. Didn't have time to get a racing form with everything going on here at Shula's. But you're always a winner with a cigar from Perdomo Cigars.
7-5 double today at Aqueduct. I'll give that out. What are those, your birthday numbers, Defo? You pick them out of the sky? Yeah, of course. That's why I've been buried my entire life there, Rabbit. That was my one regret with my mother, and I'm glad I didn't mention this to her before she passed away this past June. But I always wanted to tell her, Ma, couldn't I have been born on a different day? Just any other day, but July 5th, because of that 7-5 syndrome that I've been locked into since the 3rd grade. All right, Dave Gurgles Gurgley, going to come back, have a lot of challenging questions for you. You can dial us up, and as I said, you might be getting a busy signal, but fear not, persist, as you hear a player drop off the line, you can call in. That means it's free. 954-417-0070, 954-417-0070. We thank the Polyman for being with us. You can catch him at the Magic City Casino. You can catch us maybe Sunday at the Hialeah Park handicapping tournament. We'll have to have an entry in there somehow. I know Jersey Kyle's all in. So is, of course, defending his championship. Evan, don't mention my name, is going to be involved there. My man Johnny Casbar, my accountant, was in there with a crew of handicapping assassins the last time. I don't think they did that well, but it was a very exciting thing, too, because it comes right down to the last race. I mean, your heart is pumping. It's absolutely fantastic. So you'll enjoy that. And that's coming up this Sunday at Hialeah Park, the entry form at hialeahpark.com. All right, the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. What you say? We play like one long game here today? And, take this for a while into the 8 o'clock hour. So you can dial us up all throughout at 954-417-0070. He's Mike Lubitz. The handsome one is Dave Gurgles Gurgley. I'm Jeff Deforrest, and we'll be back with more on Ion Channel, ionchannel.com. Audio, video streaming. The Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge gets underway in a moment. Now that. It's 7:38.
It's the Gambling Gourmet for Cafe Seville in Fort Lauderdale. It's one of my favorite places. It is old school joint that's serving Spanish and classic continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly setting. It's at 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. They're open every day except Sunday for dinner, starting at 5 p.m. You go in there, you see Joey and his better half, Sally. They are giving the greatest in service. And the food, oh my gosh, it's paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, stuffed veal chop. They serve this great, fantastic, warm sourdough bread. Go to Cafe Seville in Fort Lauderdale and tell them that the Gambling Gourmet sent you.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. What if I told you you could go to a great restaurant, feel completely safe because their COVID protocol is unmatched, have an amazing meal, have a great time. When the bill comes, you won't get sticker shock. You're going to say, that's too good to be true. No, it's not, because I'm talking about Texas Roadhouse. Great family atmosphere, great atmosphere for a couple, great atmosphere if you just want to go by yourself and watch a game and have the coldest beer in town. And while you're doing that, have the best bread in town. All at Texas Roadhouse. Everything you get there is fresh every day and made sure it's served at your table, hot and ready to go. And the best part is you don't get sticker shock because the prices are amazing. Texas Roadhouse.
Destination Sport Miami is here to revolutionize the sports landscape in South Florida. The largest indoor multifaceted sports complex in North America is on the way, with distinguished leaders of its various sports programs and unparalleled access to the finest indoor training fields and facilities. Destination Sport Miami will set South Florida apart as the destination of choice for elite athletic training and development, and for its dedication to youth programs and sports on all levels. A phenomenal concept and a powerful undertaking, Destination Sport Miami will also be an important commodity in the sports business community as well. Destination Sport Miami, its time has come.
Since day one of Old School, we've had Catholic Health Services be part of our family. They are recognized as the quintessential rehab facility in the Southeast for strokes, but it goes well beyond strokes, because Catholic Health Services is in the community of South Florida to help the community stay healthy. And if they're not healthy, get them healthy and get them back on their feet quicker than they could have ever expected. They do it every single day. It's step and repeat, 24/7, Catholic Health Services.
Buy or lease a Taos and take it to the house at Deal Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy, with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at dealvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deal a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deal Volkswagen. Don't gamble in anger.
She hit the Daly.
Very calm. Think it through. If you need a little help, don't gamble in anger.
I get a panicked phone call, and he says, "Do you have any extra cash?" I go, "Yeah, I brought money with me to Atlantic City." He goes, "Well, I can't get any more out of the card because the Mustang went wild and emptied the daily allotment of cash."
Double nickels, man. She went for a nickel on her card and a nickel on mine.
The best way to kick off your day is with Defo plus Lubie. We now return to the Defo Show.
Welcome back to the show, Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge here on Ion Channel. It's all part of the Defo Show. Jeff Deforrest, Mike Lubie, Lubitz, and Dave Gurgles Gurgley is the handsome gentleman pictured in the box. Far and away a runaway winner of the Who's the Best Looking on the show. Dave Gurgles Gurgley getting all kinds of high praise from the people on our chat line saying, you look like a movie star, Dave Gurgles Gurgley.
Lassie.
No, you have a little bit of the look of the guy from Mission Impossible, right? Peter Graves, who is the answer to a great question in the life of another good friend of ours named Peter Leonard, who had Peter Graves in a Deadpool and hit for I don't even want to mention a sum, but it was substantial in terms of multiple numbers of dimes, because this was a $100 a month Deadpool with many, many participants that had rolled over for a year and a half before anybody had hit it. So you can do the math on that. Now, the interesting thing is, and this happened to me in a lesser sense. I mean, it was far smaller amount of money. And the Polyman, the classic story, of course, when we went out on one of those casino cruise to nowhere boats. And it was one that was parked, Sun Cruise, I think it was called, owned by the guy that has Miami Subs, the Greek guy who they whacked several years ago. Gus Boulis, what was the guy's name? So we had won. They had opened up a sports book, which of course, was highly outside the parameters of any federal laws that existed here in the state of Florida. And even though they were floating out there 3 miles out, they found a way to shut them down. Of course, that happened after we had a winning ticket, which we had yet to cash because you couldn't cash the tickets when you got back, and that's when the game ended. It ended just prior to us docking. So we couldn't get our money, so we were going to have to go back for another time. And I tuned in the news on that Sunday night, and sure enough, there are the guys being taken away in handcuffs with raincoats over their head.
Of course.
So, yeah, kind of tough to get paid sometimes. But in this game, we're definitely going to pay off. And so very happy to have you guys with us here. And we're ready to try it, right? Game number 1, Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. And, of course, great to be with you on Ion Channel and ionchannel.com. The Defo Show, 417-0070. That's a 954 exchange, 954-417-0070. The line to call in on. Before we get started here, Dave Gurgly, I just want to remind everybody, and this was an issue yesterday, right? You want to have your insurance intact. It's nice to walk into a doctor's office and not have them hassle you for anything. You don't even have to show the cards. Yeah, we have everything on record, Mr. Deforrest. Which, of course, when I lost my wallet that time, leaving Hialeah Park, when I left it on the roof of my Tiguan, and then drove off thinking, and I can't tell you, I guess I went back to the room there, the Champion Simulcasting room, 3 different times to check and see if I dropped it on the floor. It's not here, Deef. On the roof of my car the entire time. So I didn't have the insurance card, but, I was fortunate because I have everything intact. And that's what happens if you call HST Insurance, because they understand. I mean, who isn't selling this insurance supplement for Medicare right now? You have George Foreman, you have J.J. Walker, Dynamite, and he even does like a reprisal of the old Dynamite thing in the commercial. And Joe Willie, of course, who was my all-time greatest NFL character because of the significance of what he contributed to the game. But, I mean, they're all hawking the same thing, so it can be confusing. They can help you navigate HST, all of your options, which, as we said, are many. So whether you're looking for a policy for yourself or you're looking for one for your family, their trusted advisors can find a plan that meets your needs. You can call them today at 855-282-8022, 855-282-8022. All right, Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. You ready, David? We want to conduct we'll conduct one very highly competitive game if we can pull this off. I really appreciate that you were able to embrace the new technology. Sorry, the Polyman, failed at password?
He couldn't get into his email. And I love Polyman. When that was the problem, I was like, all righty.
Trying to walk a guy through something that, instead he wants to walk himself straight into a brick wall, which... it's understandable, right? I'm amazed that we're able to pull this off. It's fantastic. All right, so here we go. Game number 1. And this will be our only game. We'll try and play as many as we can here. The Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. The landlubber's gift certificate is up for grabs. Soon to be like a 1-year lease on a car, I would imagine. Do I have to issue a disclaimer there? There's literally no chance of that happening. No, there is. I mean, for the people around the world, we're going to have to step it up a little bit. I mean, not everybody, all of our Asian and European listeners, they're not going to be able to go, even if they're here in the States. Our Asian and European listeners aren't going to be able to necessarily schlep to South Florida to cash in a $25 voucher at Landlubbers. But we give that away just, it's like... it's a trophy of sorts, right? It's like the World Boxing Council championship belt. So if you had fished it out of it's a great prize, and you guys can enjoy it. So here we go. Game number 1 of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. And with our first set of questions, and we should do it in the tradition of the Polyman, Dave Gurgly and some...
Easy baseball.
Very nice.
This Yankee great, on receiving a phone call in the middle of the night, responded, "Nah, you didn't wake me up. I had to get up to answer the phone anyway." Yogi Berra, Walter Guerra, Pancho Herrera, or High Sierra?
All right, roll the random phone scrambler. All right, from my position, I can't read that, Lubie. So who are we going to first?
Andy,
Lubie.
man?
Andy? Okay. Andy. You're in the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Good morning, Andy. Thanks for calling in, my friend.
Good morning, fellas. I think I'll go with A today.
Nice.
Very good choice there. Sorry to hear about the condition you're having there with your teeth, because that can be brutal.
Yeah,
He asked a magic question on our chat line, Gurgles, which you don't have up there, but what's worse, tooth pain or a heart attack?
Wow. Well,
I'd have to go heart attack on that. There's an element of finality there that doesn't exist. I mean, the tooth pain. Look, Dustin Hoffman survived it in marathon, man. All right, you have 1 point, Andy, and you're in the game.
Football, Andy, true or false? Believe it or not, Motown singer Marvin Gaye once had a tryout with the Detroit Lions. True or false?
I'll go with false.
No, that's true.
That's true. Wow.
He befriended Mel Farr and Lem Barker, and they sang backup on one of his songs, and then they arranged for a tryout with Joe Schmidt as the coach.
How do you look?
He didn't make the tape.
He looked like Rich Eisen running the 40 at the combine. All right, one going for 4 here, Andy.
All right, Andy, you probably know this, that Ed O'Neill of Modern Family and Married with Children once had a tryout in the NFL with the Steelers after attending what college? Was it Duquesne, University of Pittsburgh, Cleveland State, or Youngstown State?
Youngstown State.
Wow, right
Well
on
done.
top of it. Andy, very sharp today. 4 going for 9 here to set the pace in game number 1 of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge.
All right, we mentioned aforementioned Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are 1-13 in the postseason since the Super Bowl era began. Who was the only team they ever defeated in the postseason during that time? Was it the Vikings, the Bears, the Cardinals, or the Cowboys?
Wow. I'll go with the Cardinals.
No, 1991, they murdered the Cowboys 38-6.
All right, good job, Andy. Hang in there. 4 points may have you in the finals. It's certainly a total worthy, a qualifying total. You can dial us up if you'd like to at 954-417-0070. 954-417-0070. This game number 1 of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Can't emphasize enough how excited we are about the handicapping tournament returning there. That's happening this Sunday, and a great opportunity for horse players to get a spot and a $10,000 freebie. That also includes, I believe, airfare for 2 and hotel accommodations at Bally's for 2, where the tournament is taking place. So you're right there in the center of the strip there, right in the center of all of the action. Now, whoever is playing the tournament usually is just completely immersed in total. I mean, Evan goes into Zen mode, man. You can't even find this guy until the tournament is over. And then he comes out looking, like he was being carried out into the ring, by his 2 cornermen, as he's exhausted at the end of this thing. But a heck of a lot of fun. And then the other person who gets to go along and have free airfare and accommodations, just out there to have a blast. So, it's really a good thing. 2 seats going to be available. That's happening on Sunday, and that's at Hialeah Park. $500 entry fee, $125 goes to the prize fund, $300 you bank, and then you possibly, literally, are off to the races in the beautiful Champions simulcasting room. All right, we have Andy tallied 4 points. Once again, our line is 954-417-0070. We're navigating a few not necessarily technical issues, but just a couple of limitations from our usual, just the enormous, availability of phone lines and all kinds of different things that are available through the Ion Channel facilities, which it's not surprising they're very popular, Gurgles, having been down to the studio there. I mean, anybody that was thinking about making any kind of a television show or doing a shoot, Ion Channel would be the place to go. Jack Namer and his crew, they do a fine job. Very professional also, as evidenced by what we're, able to do here with no technical expertise whatsoever. So are you ready, Gurgles? Another set of questions?
You betcha.
Got the players lined up, and here's Dave Gurgles Gurgley, our next set of questions, Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge.
Let's take you back in hoops, and let's take you way back into the 70s. This Lakers star and well-known late-night partier, on hearing that new coach Bill Sharman was scheduling a 10 a.m. shoot-around, a 3 p.m. practice, and then a 7 p.m. tip-off, said, no problem. Tell him to pick one of those times, and I'll be there. Was that Will Chamberlain, Richard Chamberlain, Neville Chamberlain, or one of the Neville brothers?
All right, Louie's got the random phone scrambler to select our next player, although it's far less random than usual today. Ron, you're on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Good morning, Ron.
Good morning, guys. Let's go with A.
Excellent, Ron. You're in the game. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it.
Boxing, Ron, true or false? Kenny Mayne, formerly of ESPN, mentioned that he served as an usher at Caesar's Palace during the Muhammad Ali-Larry Holmes fight back in 1980. True or false?
Let's go with true.
That's what I would have said.
That is true.
Kenny Mayne, yes, a very versatile background this man has. Played quarterback, right? University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
Yes.
So he was in town there, got the job. Very nice, thing to be able to attend. All right, you have 2, Ron, going for 5. So put you on top.
All right, Ron Hockey. Who was the youngest player to score a goal in a Stanley Cup Finals in the last 30 years?
Wow.
Is that Sidney Crosby, Mario Lemieux, Don Marcotte, or Jaromir Jagr?
Let's go Don Marcotte.
No, he was a defenseman with the Bruins. It was Jaromir Jagr, believe it or not, who's probably still playing somewhere.
I believe he is, yeah. He's in some Czechoslovakian league there, and he's a leading scorer. Guy's pretty remarkable. A sick degenerate, though. That's why he has to keep playing, right? He was sending in like $500,000 a game on losing propositions. All right, going for 7 points here, Ron. This will put you on top.
All right, Pittsburgh Pirates baseball. Who was the first Rookie of the Year for the Pirates in their 105 years, more than that now, in existence? Was that Roberto Clemente, Willie Stargell, Gene Alley, or Jason Bay?
Let's go Willie Stargell.
I would have to go with the obvious, Roberto Clemente.
No, they did not have a Rookie of the Year until Jason Bay in 2004.
Wow,
in all those
tough
years.
question. All right, Ron, difficult draw there. You navigated your way through the early portion of it, but you may be alive for the finals here of our game of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge on Ion Channel, the Defo Show. And you can catch the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge every Thursday right here between 7 and 9 o'clock. We usually feature the Polyman, and I believe that by next week we'll be able to navigate the Polyman through his email and get them to pop up on the screen here, and that'll be great, as we're going to be using this arrangement for a couple of weeks on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Now, if you'd like to play the game, you can dial us up at 954-417-0070. If you'd like to play the slots at Hialeah Park, more jackpots, right? You get that Facebook page with all the jackpots.
Oh, yeah.
The 2 most popular and often spoken words there are call attendant, and it's not because the machine broke down. It's because you're winning another giant pot there, and Steve Calibro's Calibro is very appropriate because the way he has those machines calibrated, people are winning, and that's always a good thing. It's a good vibe down there. We kind of left a Larry Little dinner thinking we were going to go downstairs for like a half an hour and come back up and do some dancing, and the Mustang loves it so much. We ended up staying there like 3 more hours and then popping out of there with a Cuban sandwich on the way out. It's always a good time, great vibe. Every time I turn that corner into that clubhouse entrance, Gurgles, doesn't your heart not necessarily skip a beat? We're hoping that doesn't happen very soon, but it just gets pumped up because it's just such a beautiful thing, Hialeah Park.
Yes, I remember like yesterday coming down on spring break in a Volkswagen bus from New Jersey to Fort Lauderdale, and I was with a couple of degenerates who said, let's take a ride to Hialeah. And when we drove in through those big trees to that grand entrance, I said, this is the most beautiful racetrack I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, great spot, Hialeah Park. So we'll continue to challenge here. We have Andy with 4 points. He's in the lead. You can jump on board at 954-417-0070, 954-417-0070 here on Ion Channel. Let me tell you, too, that pretty soon we're planning this, and we'll have to start getting some more details out to you guys for our visit to Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill, and that is mile marker 104, the Overseas Highway. You should come on down for that one. David, is absolutely fantastic. Last time Jimmy was on the show with us for an hour, and with the streaming video now, if we can pull this off, it'll be absolutely fantastic. Great place to stop in. Terrific food, and as you would imagine, anything that Jimmy Johnson is associated with, got to be festive. This isn't one of those places where you're going to go in there and figure, this is like attending a poetry reading somewhere at some bookstore.
No.
Wild, man.
It's a party.
Just crazy.
Man.
It's a party. They had 5 different bands at different times from like early morning until late into the night.
My favorite is the owner and the chef, GM. I don't know. They all have 8 different titles there. We turn around and we're like, we went to say hey to Dominic and the owner guy,
Larry Calvano.
Yeah. Larry, yeah. Sorry, Larry. We love you, Larry. Turn around and we're like, where are they? And they're on the stage. They had worked all day and now they're performing, and it sounded like Van Halen was up there. Like it was
It really
such a
did.
big deal for us.
Yeah, I mean, here's Dominic and Jimmy, John's brother. You know John, Dave Gurgles Gurgley, dynamite
Yeah.
golfer, by the way. Did he ever play in one of those tournaments? Did Shula have him in as a ringer? Because he's Marino's best buddy. No, but anyway, great atmosphere. Yeah, we turn around and the best band of the night features the owner and the general manager there. And he's singing like Bono, man, right into the sunset.
weird.
It was absolutely fantastic. So great place. We can't wait to get down there and bring you a show from Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill. But if you're just looking for a place, as it is so aptly named, to chill, it's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill. They have accommodations there. They're spectacular, but you have to make arrangements for that. So log on to their webpage there, jimmyjohnsonsbigchill.com, and or just plan your next visit or even a stop if you're on your way to Key West or coming back from any other destination in the Keys. Plan your pit stop there at Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill for great food and drink and a really good time and a great atmosphere. Mile marker 104, the Overseas Highway. All right, we're going to continue the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Dave Gurgles Gurgley has a lot more questions. They've been very challenging so far. Mike Lubitz is the master of controls here on our Ion Channel festivities, both audio and video streaming on ionchannel.com. Just Google the Defo Show. You can find all of the old shows and whatever we're doing today with the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Tomorrow, a deal Volkswagen Degenerate Friday. That is brought to you by Gulfstream Park, which will be part of the handicapping challenge package there. You can bet the Gulfstream races, and I'm not sure exactly what the rules are, the parameters on the tournament. You were in it last time, Gergs. What was the general principle? Just bet whatever races you want, whatever amount, or how did that work?
I think you were given just a bank of 3 tracks, and you had to select a number of races from each, a minimum, I think. But
okay,
it was, I just think win, place, and show. I think was real simple.
All right. We're going to come back and continue this game of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge on Ion Channel in just a moment. Now that
The time.
we've hit 8 o'clock Eastern, straight up.
Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. What if I told you you could go to a great restaurant, feel completely safe because their COVID protocol is unmatched, have an amazing meal, have a great time. When the bill comes, you won't get sticker shock. You're going to say, that's too good to be true. No, it's not. Because I'm talking about Texas Roadhouse. Great family atmosphere, great atmosphere for a couple, great atmosphere if you just want to go by yourself and watch a game and have the coldest beer in town. And while you're doing that, have the best bread in town. All at Texas Roadhouse. Everything you get there is fresh every day and made sure it's served at your table, hot and ready to go. And the best part is you don't get sticker shock because the prices are amazing. Texas Roadhouse.
Hey, it's Mike Mayo for Even Keel Fish Shack, corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard at Lauderdale by the Sea. It's my favorite place now for great seafood in a casual beachfront setting. They've got happy hour 4 to 7 Monday through Friday. They've got great dishes like grilled oysters and oysters on the half shell, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, octopus. They also have burgers and chicken for those who don't like the seafood. They're open 7 days a week for a lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack. Go say hi to Dave and Brad and tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you.
Recently, we realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us. Any time of year, things can happen to your home or business. And the insurance company can be your friend, but they also can be your enemy. Horizon Public Adjusters, Justina Testa, are here for you to help this process go so much easier. Before you call the insurance company, call Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa at 954-809-8752. Would you go into court without an attorney? So why would you go up against an insurance company without Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa? 7 to 10 times more money recovered with a public adjuster than if you went on your own. If there's no recovery, there's no fee. Give them a call at 954-809-8752. Why go up against insurance companies alone? You can have Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa on your side.
Buy or lease a Taos and take it to the house at Deal Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at dealvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deal a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deal Volkswagen.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep, no more, and by asleep to say we end the heartache and 1,000 natural shocks.
What could that have been about except
Gambling.
to hedge or not to hedge?
The modern day odd couple, Defo and Lubie, are on now. It is, of course, the Defo Show.
Welcome back to the show, the Defo Show here on Ion Channel. I'm Mike. We have Mike Lubitz. I'm Jeff Deforrest. We have Dave Gurgles, part of the. I got horrified there for a second. The prospect that I was Mike Lubitz. Seldom mistaken for Lubie, but they always ask me, "What is Lubie really all about?" And it's a difficult question to answer. But now you get to see him here on Ion Channel. You see what we've been dealing with for the last 11 years. It's crazy. But good to be with you here. And the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Don't forget, once again, many big events, including, I didn't mention El Boxeo, my friends. Did you see the announcement there? They had the card on the table, Dave Gurgles, going to be a dynamite card. And,
I was at the last one, and what a terrific time. I brought a couple of buddies of mine, and they had a great time. We sat ringside, courtesy of Frank Fiore, and what an exciting evening.
I think Lubie realized that, you watch boxing on TV forever, and you don't realize it's not quite like the differential in watching hockey on TV and seeing it live. But it's a big difference being live at any boxing match, and the whole perspective changes. And if you have the pleasure of being so close to the ring like we did, courtesy of the great Frank Fiore, it's a can't-miss event coming up here. And that's happening in January. And there's some very exciting guys on the scene that are Cuban defectors that have come to this country to pursue their professional boxing career. Now, we've seen many other great champions in the past, and some of them have been on display there at Hialeah Park, including the great Arislandi Lara. Andy, if he makes it to the finals, still, grousing about the fact that the fighting rabbi thought it was Shabbos that night and decided to take the night off.
That was so bad.
He wasn't going to beat Lara anyway. He had been in there, hung tough against Miguel Cotto at Yankee Stadium, of all places.
Yeah, it was weird.
The fighting rabbi, Yuri Foreman, who Andy's been friends with since birth. They shared a matzo ball together like years ago. But that was part of a very exciting boxing card there. They have upsets. It's not like these are set up matches there where everybody out of the promoter's corner is going to win, right? So whoever is in the red corner is going to win the match. That happens a lot. I've done a lot of boxing matches, and it all goes that way. And you try your best to say, "Well, yeah, this guy's in there with a shot," but it's no chance. But you get highly competitive matches there, including that upset by Jean Pascal, who everybody thought was finished and was going to be in his final bout. We got to know him a little bit a long time ago. I guess you could call him a Canadian light heavyweight by way of Haiti. And interesting style of fighter. And he scored a big upset there over a local kid that was undefeated at Hialeah Park. So that's the kind of action you see, and that's coming up in January, and very exciting announcements have been posted up there on HialeahPark.com. You can get tickets to the event. And what's exciting about it too, Gurgles? The people that were in the back there, the way they set up the ring and then going straight back with the seats that are gradually, it was a real kind of intimate but stadium setting. Absolutely fantastic. So even if you were in the back row, man, you were part of that crowd and part of the excitement at Hialeah Park. All right, we're continuing game number 1 here of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. This will be our only game today. And because we are facing certain limitations with available phone lines, as in we have one. We're very transparent on this show. So I appreciate everybody's patience so far. 954-417-0070 is the number to call if you want to play the game. And we're set to go with our next set of questions with Dave Gurgles Gurgley.
And just talking about Hialeah and boxing, let's do a boxing quote. This journeyman fighter, on why he decided to turn pro, said, I only had 2 fights as an amateur and lost both of them. So I didn't have much of a future, so I figured I'd turn pro. Was it Tex Cobb, Tex Antoine Walker, or Chet the Jet Walker?
I'm going to roll the random phone scrambler. All the way from the west coast of Florida, weighing in at a fit and trim 168 pounds, Jimmy from Naples. You're on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Good morning, Jimmy from Naples.
Well, that was just my left leg.
In other words, we're talking to a facsimile of Louie the Chronic.
It might be a little bit heavier than that.
All right, well, you're in the game with 1 point.
Okay, yeah.
All right, Jimmy, good luck on this one. And,
maybe A. Would A be the answer?
A is correct, sir. Yes, very good.
This is combination sports entertainment, Jimmy, right up your alley. Believe it or not,
I don't know if you recognize the dignified voice too.
I do.
Yes, very nice.
I joked with the gentleman. I don't know if the geezers at Caesars will figure it out. So let's see if we can play the game on them. That a man who's had a big part in the legend of the Trivia Challenge has now joined us.
All his years at JM Lexus and Jim Dunn, taking care of us, and the advertising agency would call every day and go, "What is this?" Yeah, I mean, I think it went on his personal expense account a couple of months. I'm not sure, but it was great. Thank you so much, Jim Dunn.
Not all the time.
Anyway, ready for a second question.
Here's a true-false question, Jim, and we do love you.
Okay.
All right, believe it or not, former L.A. Rams player Fred Dreyer, known for TV's Hunter, was considered for the role of Sam Malone on Cheers. True or false?
That would be true.
That is true. Well done.
Yeah, very good.
Nice. I guess he picked
Was Captain Lee in the running? Jim Dunn's good buddy, Captain Lee. What was he in the running for that role?
Yeah, he was. He just wasn't quite tall enough.
Below Deck, man. That thing is a smash hit. Unbelievable. This guy is as popular as anybody. Huh? He shows up everywhere, and everybody loves that. Yeah, Mustang's a huge fan. All right, you have 2 going for 5 here, JD, and that would put you on top.
Okay. All right.
Okay, let's take it back to the 1960 World Series between the Yankees and the Pirates, in which 2 of the Pirate pitchers were the winners of all 4 games. Vernon Law was one, and the other one was Elroy Face, Steve Blass, Harvey Haddix, or Giles Villamure.
It wasn't the last one. I know that. I'm going to say
it was a goalie, man.
Sounds pretty French.
Yeah.
I would have to say Harvey Haddix, who threw a perfect game one.
Wow.
Baseball fan Jim Dunn, man, longtime Cubs fan, of course, and still, obviously, with diehard ties to the Chicago Cubs. All right, very good, Jimmy. You're gunning for the sweep here, and this is not a setup. I don't believe, anyway. Did you prearrange this, Gurgles? Is this game going to come under suspicion now? All right.
Suspicion.
We're going to look like the Baffert horses. What are you talking about?
Wait, listen, I'd rather be lucky than good. That's all.
There you go.
Well, you're in a familiar position, and I mean this in any number of senses on top, my friend, which is great. Yeah, you have 5 points going for the sweep.
I know Jimmy's a big baseball fan, so which of the following Major League Baseball teams had a John Daly bobblehead night giveaway? Was it the Cubs, the Reds, the Cardinals, or the Brewers?
I know it wasn't the Cubs, so I'm gonna say the Reds.
Reds.
Sorry, Jim. He's a lifelong Cardinal fan, being from Arkansas.
Oh, is that right? I would have figured the White Sox during the Mike Veck days, where they just had like a weird bobblehead night. JD, hang in there. We could very well be coming back to you at 5 points. You're setting the pace here.
I don't think you thought he'd hang on this long.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So we're going to come back to you, and in all likelihood, because here we are nearing the conclusion of game number 1, and this will be our only game today of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. So Jim Dunn, our good friend Jim Dunn, longtime sponsor of the program. Wow, how many years there? Thanks, Jimmy.
Great job, guys.
Yeah.
And great memories with Jim Dunn when he and I, along with Pete Rose's agent and Dick
Stockton.
Dick Stockton, and won the Pro-Am at IBIT. I mean, at Broken Hills or whatever it was. I forget now. Didn't have any Prevagen today.
Jim Dunn can crank the driver, and has game. There's no doubt about it. Whenever he was out there, he played some basketball too. So, great all-around athlete, the great Jim Dunn. Of course, still ties to Chicago Toyota, I believe he's working with right now. Was some grand poupon, man, consulting and doing all kinds of great things. And of course, many years JM Lexus, the place was humming. Remember they set that record for they sold 10,000 cars one year at JM Lexus. Think about that. Yeah, I mean that's in and out. What? It's or is it 1,000 or 10,000? Because what was that? 3 a day would be 1,000. So you can't move 30 cars a day. I don't think at any dealership, right? Even Cal Worthington couldn't do that out in California. You never got a chance to see those ads, but they were fantastic. No. I don't know. Well, yeah, go on YouTube one day and look up a Cal Worthington automobile ad. All right, we're going to continue here, and we'll play one more here in this game of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Dave Gurgles Gurgley doing both the role of Dave Gurgles Gurgley and the Polyman Paul Massell. He does have the white hair, but you actually have more of it at this point than the three of us collectively. So congratulations on that. That is a good thing. That's a nice piece of DNA to possess. Here's our next set of questions with the great Dave Gurgles Gurgley.
Exercise, as a matter of fact, something we can all use. This comedian on calories and exercise said, I just burned 2,000 calories. That's the last time I leave the brownies in the oven while I take a nap. Was that Irma Bombeck, Irma LaDuce, Paul LaDuca, or Joe Palooka?
All right, going to roll a random phone scrambler one more time here on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Wow. Okay. Speaking of classic players here, Lenny, the Chronic. Lenny, you're on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge.
How you
doing great, Chronic.
Gurgles,
Thanks for calling in.
In your baby blue shirt, then, Gurgles.
Looks good, yeah.
Baseball, true or false?
Everything's good.
There we go.
In 1986, Danny Heath became the first player in World Series history to be a designated hitter with the same initials as designated hitter. Danny Heath. True or false?
I'm going to say false. I'm going to say Dave Henderson did it first.
No,
oh my God.
It's true.
Even had a name, though. I mean, that's a pretty good response there to a true-false question, Lenny. That was brilliant, that deduction there. Dave Henderson, Hindu Henderson. Remember that? Designated hitter would have made some sense. All right, one going for four here, Lenny. This would tie you with Andy for second
place. And your
place.
favorite category, Lenny, 1967-68 saw the origin or the first year of the ABA. And in the finals, the champ ended up being the Pittsburgh Pipers when they defeated.
Ooh, if they knew the Pipers, I'm not sure.
Kentucky Colonels, Dallas Chaparrals, New Jersey Nets, or New Orleans Buccaneers.
I'm going to go with the Buccaneers.
Yes.
Well done.
Nice job, Lenny the Chronic.
Leading scorer, Coach Vince Cassetta, was the coach, as a matter of fact, back then. And,
all right, dead heat now for second place, Gurgles. Lenny, this will put you on top and into the finals.
All right, let's see if we can get a good one for Lenny. Here we go.
That wasn't a good one. I would have said the Kentucky Colonels, man. ABA for 3 points, original year.
Are you kidding me?
Kind of going. No one's picking that on Jeopardy. ABA original year here, Alex. For 200.
NFL since 1990, a top two total offense like the Saints has faced a top two total defense like the Vikings, and this is a couple years ago, in 7 playoffs games, with the defense winning 6 of the 7. Who was the lone top 2 offenses to match up in a championship game in the NFC? One of them was the 49ers, who was their opponent in the top 2 offensive matchup for the NFC Championship. The Cowboys, the Eagles, the Buccaneers, or the Packers?
Can you repeat those? Cowboys, who else?
Cowboys, Eagles, Buccaneers, or Packers?
I'm going to go with the Eagles.
Eagles.
No, 1994, it was the Cowboys.
All right, very good, Lenny. Appreciate you playing the game. All right, so we have a dead heat for second place here. We're going to have a spin-off on that, rolling around upon Scrambler, either Andy or Lenny in the finals, and we figured out a way to do the finals here, even though we're restricted to having one phone line. So what we're going to do, Dave and Lubie, is, and I got this straight from the FCC, and the people at Hialeah Park had to sign off on it. There was a lot of litigation going on here in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Because whenever you change the rules of a major contest like this on the fly, there are many people that you have to report to. I mean, you have to be responsible to many different entities. So what we figured out is we're going to get whoever wins this spinoff here. That would be the first thing to establish. Mike Lubitz between Andy and Lenny. There's a scrambler. And the nod goes to
Andy. Wow, Andy.
Okay, Andy takes the chronic right out of the game there. And that was an arbitrary draw, Lenny. Sorry about that.
Totally
I'm sure
random.
it was all on the level.
I love that.
A lot of disclaimers, Jack Namer. You better start. You better start typing in some fine print immediately here on the screen. But anyway, so we're gonna have our good friend Jim Dunn, longtime sponsor of the program there with JM Lexus, where we were for like I don't know, was it like 14 years? Just an amazing run there at JM Lexus, and also Andy, who had a toothache. I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
And here's the way we're going to work it. We're going to put one gentleman on at a time. So we're going to put what? Andy, the challenger, on, or Jim Dunn? One of those guys is going to be on. And you're going to pose a question, and they're going to take as many shots at it as it takes to answer the question. And whoever gets it quicker on less chances, this is going to be like the pole vault, the way we decide this, where, okay, on less misses, the champion will be decided. Does that seem logical, Dave Gurgles Gargling?
So am I going to just use one question?
You're going to do one question to each guy, and
one different question to each guy.
Yes, yeah. Otherwise, the guy that came on second would know what the answer was.
Right,
So
right.
that would make it relatively easy for him to get it on the first shot. Somehow, I mean, it's like on Wheel of Fortune when they misread the puzzle, even though all the letters are up there, and you'll see somebody lose on that. That was crazy. Oh, he's going to be buying stock, Lenny says, wise guy that he is, with all of his landlubbers gift certificates that he's been accumulating over the years here. And $18 on the black market. He's going to resell them. All right, so we're ready with Jim Dunn. Jim Dunn's going to be the first one up. This is going to be based on like a pole vault competition, Jimmy, where Gurgles is going to pose a question. And however many shots it takes you to get it, there are going to be 4 possible answers. And whoever gets it quicker between you and Andy is going to be the champion. Does that make sense?
Okay, good luck, Jim.
Yeah.
In 1971, Wilt Chamberlain had a rare pointless triple-double, meaning he only had 4 points in the game, but he still had a triple-double with 31 rebounds, 13 blocks, and 10 assists. And it came versus what team?
Or versus whom? All right, what are the choices, David?
Seattle, Philly, Boston, or Detroit?
Boston is correct.
Nice.
That's gonna be tough to beat. Mind-blowing performance here today by Jim Dunn. All right, Jimmy, we'll just keep watching the show, and in all likelihood, you're going to come up a winner here. And if we end up in a dead heat, everybody's going to landlubbers. That's the way we're going to work it. So, all right, Jim Dunn, ladies and gentlemen, gets it on the first shot. Wow. Now we're going to dial up Andy here, and he's going to get, well, he's going to have basically one shot to see if he can win the game. Otherwise, we declare the winner. Don't forget, once again, people, we can't emphasize this enough, how much fun it's going to be. Sunday, Hialeah Park for the handicapping championship. And then fighting out of the blue corner. This is going to be great. I mean, all of these young Cuban stars, many of whom already have established themselves as very viable possibilities of tracking their way to a very early championship in their careers. And a lot of exciting fighters going to be on the card there at Hialeah Park. That's happening in January. And you can log on to the HialeahPark.com website and see all of the details. They've already announced many of the fighters that are going to be on the card, and things are being solidified. They're going to have a press conference and throw it right in a couple of weeks now. It's not that far away, right? We're almost at the end of 2022. So check that out. That's going to be exciting. I know a lot of our listeners and viewers now on Ion Channel are big boxing fans like I am. And as you saw, Gurgles, I mean, was that your first time in live fights, or did you used to go to like the Blue Horizon in Philly?
No, it was terrific. It was the first one.
All right, very good. And it was just absolutely fantastic, as all the cards there were. So glad they're bringing it back. And, Frank Fiore, every detail, he'll go ahead and schwitz every detail until it comes out perfect. And then when it comes out perfect, he'll say, oh, geez, could have done this, could have done that. Always looking to make things better for the fans there. And that's what Hialeah Park has been all about, going back to their heyday of racing and still doing the same thing for all of their patrons at Hialeah Park, their outstanding casino, poker room, and a champion simulcasting room, and El Boxeo coming. That's right, live boxing coming up in January at beautiful Hialeah Park. All right, Andy's ready to take the challenge here as we conclude our game of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge on Ion Channel here on this fine Thursday morning. And went very smoothly under the circumstances, I would have to say, although we'll have to figure out how to bring the Polyman up, raise the bar with the Polyman's technology capabilities. Which, we were just hoping he knows how to turn the computer on. If he can do that.
We can always drive up to Schuler's Golf Club with a cup of coffee, and I'll just move out of the way and let him take the screen.
That's not the
Just
worst
by the way, did you notice something there? I don't know if you noticed a guy come in there in the background because you were facing the camera here in the computer, Dave Gurgly, but somebody swiped the Philbin ball. It's not in the background anymore. I don't know if you put it back or you still have it on the desk there, but that Joe Philbin ball is gone.
Much wanted.
It's way up there on the top shelf now. I didn't realize. Because you wanted to, disguise the fact that it was a Joe Philbin ball. Everybody would think like it was signed by Schuler. All right, here we go, Andy. You really have to get this on the first shot to end up in a dead heat, and you would be co-champion with the great Jim Dunn, of all people. Phenomenal that Jimmy was watching and listening on the West Coast there in Naples and participated in the game. But he got the answer to this question on the first try.
Yep.
So to finish in a dead heat for the championship and share the title here, you would have to get it on the first try. So Gurgles has the question, and he'll deliver the choices. And good luck, Andy, in trying to capture half of the title.
Only seems fair to stick with the same category, basketball, and the same person, Wilt Chamberlain. When Wilt Chamberlain had his 100-point game in Hershey, Pennsylvania, this teammate went 8 for 8 from the field and perfect from the foul line, 1 for 1, and chipped in 17 points. Who was that teammate? Was it Hal Greer, Tom Meschery, Paul Arizin, or Al Attles?
Meschery.
Sorry.
Incorrect.
It was Al Attles, the future coach of the Golden State Warriors.
Wow, excellent player. All right, good job, Andy. I hope the tooth feels better, and thanks so much for playing. I mean, this guy was playing in pain. And, of course, Jim Dunn, we congratulate Jim Dunn. Really, a rare opportunity for him to be a champion of what once was the JM Lexus Trivia Challenge, where it was always great having Jimmy out there. And it was interesting there, too, because you never know who was going to pop in, right? Remember that day, like Dennis Potvin was there?
Sure.
Did we see any number of the dancers, Stanley and company, or had they checked out before we got to no, they were long gone? All right. I got a dead man buying a car over here. The showroom.
Well, I've got to sign off and go to work.
Yes, excellent job, Dave Gurgly. Thanks so much. We'll do it again next week, and we will continue to
thanks for your
grow
patience, Mike.
in our expertise of getting this thing together. No, you look great, kid. Very good job. Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. All right, Lubie and I will come back and take you out the door here on this week's edition of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Don't forget tomorrow, a Deal Volkswagen Degenerate Friday, and very happy to be representing Deal Volkswagen here on this show or any show because I'm driving a Tiguan from Deal Volkswagen that I got at ridiculously bargain prices. I mean, amazing. And it wasn't like I was getting the special white glove treatment. This is anybody, right? Anna doesn't care. You could walk in off the streets there and never have been seen or heard from before and walk out of there with just an absolute beauty of a car at an unreal price at Deal Volkswagen right now. Just an absolutely fantastic place. We love the people down there. Anna does a great job. She's wild about the fact that her Patriots are in first place. Lubie, not so happy about that. Boy, that was as improbable as anything. Huh? The Patriot haters have to be just absolutely ready to eat their own arm off.
Yes, I am.
In disgust. But Anna's thrilled, and that just makes her even happier. It's always a special occasion to buy a car at Deal Volkswagen. And, of course, Deal Volkswagen with a pre-owned vehicle superstore right across the street there. They're located 3601 Bird Road in Coral Gables, Florida. And then right across the street at 3650, you get the best deal you could possibly find on what they call lease turnbacks in the industry. And those are cars that have low mileage on them and been well taken care of, and, of course, brought right back up to steam on all aspects, whether it's the inside of the car, the interior, any of the gadgetry, and or just the way the engine runs. These things are going to be humming for years and years and years, and you can get them at unbelievably low prices by logging onto their website, dealvolkswagen.com. Wherever you are, it'd be worth like a plane flight from whatever city you were in and driving the car back. To take advantage of the great deals right now, especially on the certified pre-owns, where everybody else is just cremating their patrons, no matter how loyal or faithful they've been to the dealership. And, here's Deal Volkswagen giving these cars away. So check it out, dealvolkswagen.com on the website, and you'll get the deal of a lifetime on a beautiful Volkswagen vehicle. All right, I'm Jeff Deforrest. He's Mike Lubitz. So take it out the door here. Many things to discuss on the sporting front here on this week's edition of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Very exciting game we played today with the great Dave Gurgles Gurgley. The Polyman was with us earlier, and always a pleasure to be representing Hialeah Park in any endeavor, including the upcoming championship handicapping tournament with the chance to go to the NHC, and then the boxing, which is going to be dynamite at beautiful Hialeah Park. HialeahPark.com is where you get all the information. We'll come back with more in a moment on the Defo Show. Now that.
The time.
It's 8:30 Eastern.
Hey there, it's Mike Mayo. Do you like steaks? Do you like seafood? Do you like classic old Florida charm? You could get that all and more at Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of 95. The Studiali family, they've been running the place a long time. It's been there more than 70 years. And it is now a place you can get early bird specials along with steaks to take home and throw on the grill yourself at the Butcher Shop. That's open 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. It's open for dinner every night starting at 4:30, but they are closed on Sundays. Go to Tropical Acres. It's a place to go for a great meal, great people, good value. Tropical Acres.
The championship meet is right around the corner at Gulfstream Park. The only place for live racing, Gulfstream's action has never been hotter. Whether it's on the track, in the casino, or part of the dining and entertainment offered at the Village of Gulfstream Park. Currently running Thursday through Sunday, Gulfstream's racing package is the best in the country, with all the top horses and people in the game pointing towards another tremendous winter season. Check out the remodeled first floor casino, open 7 days and nights a week, along with the many special events and concerts happening at Gulfstream Park. You can place your wagers from anywhere at firstbet.com. Check the calendar of events at gulfstreampark.com. Destination Sport Miami is here to revolutionize the sports landscape in South Florida. The largest indoor multifaceted sports complex in North America is on the way, with distinguished leaders of its various sports programs and unparalleled access to the finest indoor training fields and facilities. Destination Sport Miami will set South Florida apart as the destination of choice for elite athletic training and development, and for its dedication to youth programs and sports on all levels. A phenomenal concept and a powerful undertaking, Destination Sport Miami will also be an important commodity in the sports business community as well. Destination Sport Miami, its time has come.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in the Plantation location, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. Their hours have changed a little bit. Monday through Thursday from 3:30 to 10, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11:30 to 10. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Since day one of Old School, we've had Catholic Health Services be part of our family. They are recognized as the quintessential rehab facility in the Southeast for strokes, but it goes well beyond strokes. because Catholic Health Services is in the community of South Florida to help the community stay healthy. And if they're not healthy, get them healthy and get them back on their feet quicker than they could have ever expected. They do it every single day. It's step and repeat 24/7. Catholic Health Services.
Buy or lease a Taos and take it to the house at Deal Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at dealvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deal a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deal Volkswagen. You know, people don't like being lied to. That's always the thing with Pete Rose. If he had just said, of course I bet the Reds. What are you talking about? I had money on every game. We know you did, Pete. It's all right. I mean, now it would be accepted. In fact, they would have it's only a matter of time before the manager of the two teams is asked who he likes in the game. All right, we're going down on the field there. We got Tony La Russa. Tony, what do you think tonight? White Sox minus 135? Well, you know, we're going to go to the pen right away, and I'm going to make like 7 righty-lefty switches at inappropriate times, and I'm going to wear out my bullpen. In fact, all of these guys worked in the game last night, so I would think this. I would take the points, take the runs, and take the price on the Boston Red Sox tonight to beat us. I would not lay 135 to win 100 on the Chicago White Sox. Okay, thanks, Tony. Let's go to Alex Cora. Cora, what do you got? Well, you know, we got all our heavy hitters at the beginning of the lineup tonight, and they really pound this White Sox pitcher the last time he was out there. So I would think that we're a good bet, money line, straight up. When's that going to happen? I mean, that's going to be part of the pregame shows now.
Enjoy your trip to work with lots of laughs thanks to Defo and Lubie. Now on the Defo Show.
It's only a matter of time, right?
Oh, for sure.
We go straight to Bill Belichick before the ball game during the pregame show by obligation with the latest television contract negotiations between Roger Goodell, FanDuel, and the National Football League. And they say, Bill, I mean, what about the under tonight? What do you think? Are you going to run the ball like you did against Buffalo the entire ball game and throw 3 passes? That looks a little suspect, doesn't it? Were they trying to score? I don't think so. Whose order was that? Who gave the order? It's like Hyman Roth, right? Who gave the order? All right, it's the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Congratulations. What an honor. What a pleasure it was to even know that Jim Dunn was tuned in to the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. That really warms my heart. It really does. One of the greatest people and influences in my lifetime. The great Jim Dunn always had my back, Lubie. That's a fantastic thing. Whether it's as a person, in this business, obviously we depend on sponsorships to make our living. And when you get that kind of loyalty and faith, no matter what, didn't matter what situation I was in, Jim was always, yeah, I'm in. Always fantastic, yeah. No, and greatly appreciated. Even years later, and came out to the 70th birthday celebration in Las Vegas. That was one of the great surprises of that just phenomenal weekend. Maybe I would have to say, out of 70 of them, greatest birthday celebration ever. Las Vegas is the place to go. That would be the way to do it. It was right around July 4th weekend also, so you had all the fireworks jamming out there. I don't know what the situation is out in Las Vegas right now. Because what is it, the Omicron variant? They're lining up now to get the shots, right? Syringes are everywhere. Right?
Get them.
It's all the vaccine. Yeah, please, people.
Shoot it up.
Take care of that business. Yeah. I did. I was amazed. I got a clean bill of health there. Blood pressure, perfect.
Look at you. Thank God.
Not
bad.
bad.
Around for a while there, superstar. So.
I don't want to stroke out, right? I mean, if I'm going to have a stroke, I would like it to be, as a handicap, in some scramble charity golf event. That'd be great. All right, Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Many things happening on the sporting front. Let me also tell you about Destination Sport Miami and what they're doing. Log on to the website there, destinationsportmiami.com. We talk about great organizations always have great people involved. And, you can have the best of intentions. If you don't have the people to make it work, that's what Destination Sport Miami is all about, with guys like Glenn Rice running their basketball program, Randy Moss. I mean, how popular is Randy going to be when some youth organization comes in there to use the facilities there. And there's Randy Moss telling a guy how to leap up there and steal a ball away from two defensive backs at the same time. And you've been mossed.
Exactly.
It's going to be great. So all part of the fanfare that's surrounding the evolution of what will eventually be the largest indoor multifaceted sports facility anywhere in North America. We still venture, Lubie, I think it's safe to say anywhere in the world. I don't know that they're going to have any litigation coming their way from some larger facility. I can't even conceive that there would be one all indoors. So a massive undertaking, very ambitious project. It's happening at the Doral area on a site right by Top Golf where we did the press conference from. And just a terrific bunch of people behind. Destination Sport Miami going to be a big, big boost. You know, when the mayors show up and all those politicians,
that was crazy.
you know the economy is just going to blossom.
Well, my
as a
favorite
result
is
of the efforts of these people.
It's usually politicians, especially in South Florida, from one side or the other. My favorite was it was people from both sides of the aisle, and they both had smiles from ear to ear like it was their idea, which you never get in politics, let alone in Dade County.
Yeah, everybody wanted to take credit for it now.
Yeah, exactly.
That the plans have been unveiled and the construction is underway. Anyway, check it out. One of our fine sponsors here on the program, Destination Sport Miami. A very, very, as we said, ambitious. And we think it's going to be just a great, great project all the way around. It's almost mind-boggling what they're trying to do there. It is, Lubie. It's fantastic. All right, many things happening on the sporting front, and we appreciate you guys tuning in and playing the game, the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge.
The Heat won.
Yes.
I didn't think they could do that anymore without Butler and without Bam. Like, I don't think we're going to win for a while.
Never underestimate. Don't sleep on Eric Spoelstra. That would be. He takes this stuff very seriously. I mean, if you were going to have a Riley protege, almost a Riley clone.
Yeah.
From I don't know. How do you feel about this? I kind of liked it when the coaches wore suits. They've gone with a more casual look on all coaching fronts in basketball. But basketball coaches, it was kind of weird. It was almost like going back to Miller Huggins or something, where the baseball manager was in a suit, which it is kind of stupid if you think about it. I mean, why do baseball managers have to wear the uniform?
I don't get that. That's strange. It looks like a little kid.
They should be wearing some clown outfit in most cases, should they not? Yeah, let's bring in another reliever. This guy just struck out 2 on 6 pitches. Got to lift him, though. It's the 7th inning. I got the book right here. Cookie cutter, boring managerial strategies that often are just straight up sabotage for any team where you have a hot guy. What happened to riding a hot hand, Lubie? Is that a thing in the past where, you have to do everything mechanically and everything straight up by the books? It takes a lot of the ingenuity out of the game, for one, and it makes you think that any manager, what difference does it make if you plug Buck Showalter in with the Mets and he does the same things that he did in every one of his previous stops? I guess he's had some success, but has he been like, do you get excited thinking, oh, wow, Buck Showalter is going to be my manager? I didn't even know he was alive. Did you? Till he became the leading candidate.
I was just going to ask you. No, I liked him years ago.
Supposedly, blew away the New York Mets organization, which, is maybe not that difficult to do. But there he is, pictured right there on the back page in his Yankee outfit. And they're saying that the qualities that he exhibited in being able to withstand the pressures of playing in New York with a team with high expectations, and an owner that is just absolutely hell-bent on winning, no matter how much money he has to spend. But if he's going to spend a lot of money, he wants to win, Lubie.
Duh.
That's the thing. But anyway, so many different things happening on the sporting front. But I noticed this one happening last night. The Heat won, and it proves once again that South Beach is the ultimate six-man. No?
Yeah, because the Bucks had
they had their big three in there. They were all in there.
Yeah, it was weird. I was like, what's going on with this game?
The Freak was there. Middleton wasn't particularly sharp shooting the ball. I think it was like 3 for 10 at one point, which isn't horrendous, but not great.
Not good.
30%. But, you got to figure, okay, he might have rimmed 2 out if he was shooting 50%, especially in today's NBA standards. So that's probably not too shabby. But who's chucking up threes but Steph Curry? That's no surprise.
Yeah, well.
And he's about to surpass Ray Allen as the all-time leader in made three-point baskets in NBA history. Now, a lot of players that were those guys from yesteryear, there was no three-point shot.
Never shot him, yeah.
So you're not going to see, I don't know, Oscar Robertson wasn't inclined to jack up threes. In fact, the whole philosophy of the game was not lent towards and did not lean towards putting long-distance shots up the whole game. The whole premise of the game was to work the ball as closely inside as you can and take the highest percentage shot possible.
Yes.
And that flew to Coop. Now you take the lowest percentage shot possible under any circumstances. And if you miss like 40 out of 50 of them, you keep shooting them.
Exactly. That's the best. Is Duncan Robinson's been cold the entire year, but like 2 games.
Ice cold.
And they're like, that's okay. Keep shooting.
Your boy Max Strus for the Heat came through last night. Lowry got hot in the third quarter and canned a bunch of threes. And they were very determined. That was a good thing. And you could see the sluggishness of the Milwaukee Bucks. Because, they were basically like just going through the motions there, and everybody was a little bit off except Holiday. But they were winning by, I believe, 7 points at halftime before getting crushed like a grape. What does that tell you? Women weaken legs.
I mean, it screams South Beach, which is fine with me. The Heat needed it. I don't give a damn. Use it more. Go to South Beach. Let's go.
I mean, those guys needed a breathalyzer test when they came in there. The Milwaukee Bucks. Someone would have blown over the 0.8 or 0.08. He's above the legal limit. Can he play basketball tonight? Yeah, I think so. Let him grab a couple of rebounds here, and we'll take him to the bench. That was that. So, the Heat with an improbable win. South Beach, once again, coming up big there, you would have to think, because they had nobody on the floor there. They were playing scrubs. I didn't even know. This guy, Caleb Martin, did you even know he was on the roster?
I've seen him, but I thought he was like the guy at the end of the bench. I didn't realize he was like in the rotation. Like, I'm a little confused by that.
28 points, 8 rebounds for Caleb Martin, a guy that before the season, if you would ask me what team he was on, I could not have identified him. I was likely to put him on the Florida Panthers. Oh, yeah, he's that new kid they got from Montreal.
He's the Marlins left fielder.
Does sound like a DH. Then there's Caleb Martin here for the White Sox. You know what? They've been getting a lot of mileage out of the DH position this year.
Second-round draft pick that you're excited about, but you never really get to see do anything.
Wide receiver for the Dolphins, nondescript third-round pick that they're telling you is going to be dynamite. You seeing Caleb Martin in training camp?
Yes.
Defo?
Yes.
With your scathing indictments about what bozos we have in the front office? I'm not sure that's as applicable as it was, right? Brian Flores, you talk about a guy that saved his job, huh? Can't fire him now. He's won 5 in a row. Now, he could lose the rest of the games, but you can't fire him because he won 5 in a row in the middle of a crap season.
Well, that's the thing that happens every year. The professor, who we know his theories about Flo, and as he's a New England Patriot plant, which I don't know how true that is, but Flores has struggled every year the first month, but then he hits that stretch where they play 4 to 5 crap teams, and there you go. Yes. He's the best.
Great at beating bottom dwellers. Nobody better at it. And motivating a team that should be just, face down in the gutter than Brian Flores. I mean, he should be doing motivational speeches somewhere. He doesn't seem like a big talker, though. He's gone Belichickian with those post-game press conferences. I mean, Joe Philbin's press conferences were more exciting. I don't know if that's something we can get by with. All right, so here is what I wrote down in my notes here, Mike Lubitz, that Steph Curry needs 10 more threes.
That's funny.
He made 6, I believe, in the game last night. Steph Curry. They were playing Portland. Portland's as lame can be, huh? Chauncey Billups, he doesn't look too happy there. His first year as the head coach of the Trailblazers. And who is it? Lillard is a guy
that's out, and McCollum's hurt. Like, it's not good. It's just not good.
They were a very promising team, very exciting team to watch.
Talent.
The Portland Trailblazers with that backcourt. I mean, a dynamic pair of backcourt players, right up there with Clyde Frazier, Earl DePearl. Yeah, that was more classic stuff.
That was different
back then. Yeah, but nonetheless, they're a mess. So Curry is chucking threes like there's no tomorrow. He has no conscience whatsoever about doing this. Right? Remember when you would have to ask yourself, if you were a chucker from the outside like I was, do you have a conscience? Can you really put that shot up in this situation, which has almost zero chance of going in? Although all shooters believe that every shot is going in, Lubie. And I believe if you don't see that, I mean, it's like anything in any kind of sport or any endeavor for that matter. If you don't believe that it's going in, it's not going in. If you're saying don't miss, whatever, that never works in sports. You have to eliminate negativity from your psyche.
The craziest thing to me is that he's overtaking Ray Allen, because Ray Allen didn't play in this era per se, but he didn't play in like the Jordan era where the three had just started either. Like, Ray Allen outside of the first few years, was a sharpshooter his entire career. He was a good all-around player, but he was known as a shooter. He shot threes. That was his thing. And he played till 39. Steph Curry's only 33. That's how many, and Ray Allen was as good a shooter as there is. He's doing it 6 years early. Like, he's 33 years old, Steph Curry. Like, that's nuts to me that he's going to surpass Ray Allen, who until this point was the best shooter ever, by 6 years. Like, that's nuts.
Ray Allen, right. I mean, unbelievable. Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Yes, sir.
Right? I mean, in the Spike Lee movie. But he had probably the prettiest form on a jumper of any of those shooters. Reggie Miller was an awkward shooter. He didn't look like he was going to be a very consistent three-point shooter. Had that weird thing where he flipped the ball from holding it like it was a medicine ball or something above his head. Okay, 10 of those. Then we're going to lie down on the ball and, that kind of exercise equipment. It looks like he was hoisting. And there were other guys. Downtown Freddie Brown had a good shot. Of course, Ray Allen, though, I think the smoothest jump shot that I might have seen, maybe in NBA history. That may be a fair statement. So he's 10 away, Steph Curry. And they're talking about, after the game on the Sports Center with Scott Van Pelt, they had, after the game, some interviews, and they were talking about the possibility of Ray Allen being there and trying to figure out which game. You know how this is when there's a record chase on, usually more associated with a home run record chase in Major League Baseball. Like, you're not going to ask Elway to be on the scene when some quarterback like Brady, say, surpasses one of his records. I don't think so.
No, they don't do that.
Yeah, they don't do that in football so much. Basketball, I mean, I don't know that I've really ever seen it. Have you?
I was going to say, I didn't know it was that big of a deal. Like, baseball's the only one where they're like, it's coming. It's coming.
Right.
They don't do that.
And when Bonds was going to crack the all-time home run record of Hank Aaron, remember when they had Hank Aaron?
Yeah,
that was still one of the greatest scenes ever that I've ever witnessed. They had him on the scoreboard because they were trying to drag Hank around, and it always takes a while to hit that home run or whatever it is that gives you the milestone and the benchmark and the all-time lead. So I don't know how long it was. They wore out Pedro Gomez during that period of time, and may he rest in peace. Was a very popular guy here in South Florida, Pedro Gomez of ESPN fame, whose assignment was to follow a very angry and bitter Barry Bonds around and constantly ask him if he was on the juice as he was chasing the all-time home run record of Hank Aaron. And did he feel any guilt about eclipsing Aaron when Aaron did everything on the level and under the immense adversarial conditions that were created by the status of racism in America at the time? I mean, he was getting death threats before he broke the Bambino's record. Unbelievable. So anyway, Aaron was being asked to follow Bonds to all of these different sites, and it was like any number of multiple cities that he had to hit before he hit the record-breaking home run. And he, just said, "Hey, I mean, quite simply, fuck this. I'm not going to do it."
Well, he didn't like Bonds either.
Yeah,
he was quiet about it, and he respected the game because he's Hank Aaron. But like, word got out that he was like, "Screw Barry Bonds."
Despised the fact that Bonds was going to surpass his hard-earned record by cheating.
Like, he was not a fan.
Well, a guy that was averaging like 28 home runs a year for the first 10 years of his career suddenly was hitting 75 by the All-Star break. You think something was up there? It wasn't the ball.
But my favorite was, because I remember seeing it before you and I talked about it, like how they showed the replay of Bonds hits the home run, and then they exposed Aaron onto the scoreboard. And I remember going, what's wrong with him? And then you were the next day you were bullshitting about it, and it was the most classic because I was like, "Hey, you're right. Like, that's exactly what it looked like."
They pulled the cameras back, and it really, this was at a time where there were like hostages being taken in Afghanistan, and very ugly scenes where you had the guys with the hoods on and the ski masks over their face, and they pull back the cameras, and there's a guy on each side of Hank Aaron as he's saying, "Well, I'd like to congratulate you, Barry, on breaking my record. I worked very hard for that." And then they pull back the cameras, and there's two guys with machine guns pointed at the head of Hank Aaron wearing ski masks. So I don't know. Does anybody really want to be on the scene there when their record is broken? Probably not. Now, those were unusual, you would have to say, circumstances. At the very least, there is Victor Conti was coaching third base for the Giants at the time. That's where that's where Fauci got the concept for the booster shot, right? He was watching Victor Conte just choose a guy as he was rounding third, going, "You still have 2 more at-bats, Barry. You could use a little of this." What a world we live in, huh?
That's classic.
Just amazing. But, so he's going to pass Ray Allen, and the big speculation was, would Ray Allen be able to – I guess he's coaching his son in high school or something.
He coaches down here, and I think it's Gulliver Prep. He coaches in Miami.
Oh, yeah?
He's a high school coach.
Then we share a basketball distinction, Mike Lubie Lubitz, if you can believe this. Ray Allen and I, if he's at Gulliver Prep,
I think so.
Shares a basketball distinction with me, which I was at one time the basketball coach at Gulliver Prep.
Shut up. You're such a liar.
That's absolute truth.
You coached the basketball. Okay, sorry for interrupting.
But I never got to actually coach even a single practice. What happened was the guy that was, I guess it would have been the chancellor of Gulliver Prep at the time. I had just moved here. This was, now we've established 1981.
Yes.
And Gulliver Prep is a very ritzy private school in South Miami. What is it? Like, it's not really the Kendall area. Where is it? It's around there somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know Miami. I just didn't know.
Yeah, very expensive. I mean, it would be the equivalent of any top-notch private school. So at a private school, you don't need a teaching license to be a teacher there. And I see an opening for a basketball coach / teacher. But the primary interest was in having the guy on the staff somehow. You were going to have to teach something, maybe shop.
Yeah.
But, the job was to be the basketball coach, which I thought I wouldn't have been very good as a basketball coach. But I do. I mean, I know enough about the game and the strategies and how to play it. Obviously, haven't played for a long time, and was a decent player. So I felt like I could probably get my way through this. And who knows? Maybe it wouldn't be a bad thing to do, right?
That was always my dream. Actually, was to coach basketball before I got into this.
Hey, look, if you can get to any decent level of doing it, right? Even in some schlepper college, you're probably making $1 million a year now as a basketball coach, with the possibility that you're going to fool somebody into thinking that because you've guided Riverside Community College to a 21-3 record, that they may as well give you the job at Notre Dame.
Exactly.
Right? And you're like, I think I can get this Fighting Irish program on track there.
There you go.
Having no idea. So anyway, I get hired as the basketball coach, and they made me teach an English class, which I actually did get to do. And I realized I know nothing about grammar, even though I spent a lot of years as a writer for newspapers. And, I'm obsessed with putting commas into run-on sentences, essentially. That is my writing style.
Same thing.
That's my talking style also. A lot of commas, a lot of qualifiers. So I'm teaching English, and I have the job as the basketball coach. But before I ever get to it, like inside of the first week that I was teaching there, I get a call from the former radio station we were at to start my radio career down here at 940 WINS, WINZ, which at the time was a thriving all-news station.
Okay.
And so I had auditioned for the job before I got the teaching job, which I needed to take because I was running out of capital.
Yeah.
And so I had to do something. And so I had auditioned for this job, and then they called me. They decided to make a change there like about a month later.
Oh, wow.
So now I have my dream job, a radio job in Miami to get my career started here, or I could continue this farce.
I'm so mad you didn't stick it out. I would have loved that story. I may never have met you, but I would have loved that story.
Who knows? I could have been the next Rick Pitino.
You know basketball.
Right? Well, I'm older than Pitino, so I
it would have been before Pitino. Been Wooden.
I don't know. I don't have the patience for guys. I would have been terrible when guys couldn't execute the simplest and most simple of plays.
So Ray is the director of boys and girls basketball at Miami's Gulliver Prep.
Okay, we have something in common.
Boys. He does coach the boys varsity basketball team. But look at
there you go. So when you mention Ray Allen, you can also mention Defo in the same breath. Because we have a basketball equivalency. And that's a true story. I was the coach there, got the job, took the radio job naturally. The rest is history. 50 years later, here we are on Ion Channel with a new thriving enterprise here with the Defo Show, Jeff Deforrest and Mike Lubitz. And we couldn't be happier than to have this underway. And none of it would have happened if I hadn't gotten that call. Who knows? I may be, coaching at UCLA at this point.
Honestly, you never know.
I don't know how good the basketball players were. Certainly Ray Allen's son wasn't involved I never got to see any of the players on the team or even conduct a tryout, though, because, it was the first week of the very beginning. We were talking about school got underway in like August in those days here in South Florida. That's ridiculous, too.
That
Put
sucks.
kids in school in August? Are you kidding me? So anyway, will Ray Allen be there, and does it matter and is it going to be another one of those deals like Hank Aaron had?
Good job, Steph. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, he has to pop up on a big screen. But it's not as big of a deal, though. I mean, you're right about that. This record is nowhere close to approximating what it was like to have the all-time home run record. I mean, the Bambino had it forever. Didn't, Ford Frick never wanted to have him give up any of his distinctions as a baseball player. Put the asterisk, the stupidest symbol in all of sports. The asterisk. Hey, you think that should be an asterisk? No, I think you should take the asterisk and shove it up your ass, is what I always think. Whenever somebody asks that question, right? People would call in and shows, you think they should put an asterisk next to Marino's numbers? And I'm like, no, I don't care. You know what? The fact he never won a championship shows you how bogus that whole criteria is.
Exactly.
That even one of the greatest players of all time. Who would you rather have chucking a rock? I mean, literally. Any of the schmenks that have won, Trent Dilfer? Throwing those wobbly passes that were on the wrong side of virtually everybody.
Nick Foles won a Super Bowl MVP.
Jeff Hostetler?
Come on.
Or Danny Boy?
Come
on. That's crazy. Although, you know what? I guess there's something to be said for taking your team all the way. No, Lubie? Just to contradict the very emphatic statement I just made.
You just made.
Chuck Nevitt has 4 rings.
Nah, I mean, titles matter, but it's not the end-all be-all.
It depends how you acquired them. And I guess you would also have to factor in Marino's case, what the circumstances were as to why he wasn't able to get it over the top.
They call Peyton Manning a 2-time Super Bowl winner. Was Peyton Manning really a 2-time Super Bowl winner?
Yeah, the first one he won was dreadful, right? Didn't he play the Bears here in South Florida?
Well, but at least he was a key cog. That second one,
horrible. Yeah.
You weren't wrong. Like they literally wheeled him. All right. Just say hike and wheeled him off.
He came in a handicapped entrance. They're looking for him in a player's parking lot. Hey, where's Peyton Manning? And they have him coming out of an ambulance in a wheelchair. And they put him out there on the field, and that's all they needed because they had a dynamite defense.
Exactly.
The Denver Broncos. All right, we have to run. It was a lot of fun being with you. Always a pleasure representing Hialeah Park.
Yes,
you
sir.
see the splendor of Hialeah Park in the background there above Lubie and me. Great being here on Ion Channel. Our thanks to Jack Namer and, of course, the lovely Amy, Brad Schiller.
Thanks, Brad.
Brad, always big, man. I mean, this guy, even an early morning consultation, he's not opposed to picking up the phone there.
No, I love. He's like, all right, if you see this, it's me. I'm like, doing what? Where are you? Like, I thought you guys were doing okay. Sure, appreciate it.
It's all good. I think this system eventually, in the eventuality, will work out just fine. Also, if we have to stick with it. Although I'm not suggesting that for a second there, because I like the chemistry of being all in the same spot.
I like all of it. I appreciate with their help, and I'm proud of us for being able to be fluid, because that's what my wife tells me is you have to be fluid. So good for us, because I didn't think we could be.
What do you mean? It's time to start drinking heavily? Is that what you're suggesting, Lubie? I believe it is. Tomorrow, the Deal Volkswagen Degenerate Friday. That's is Gulfstream Park's package now, and just absolutely fantastic to have these guys on board. And we'll have Jersey Kyle with us, of course. Now we have to work out some technical issues with Jersey Kyle here.
I love that all. Yeah,
How does he put these seawalls and docks in and he can't turn on a computer?
It scares me that you're the most savvy of all the people we work with. It really freaks me out.
Yeah, I mean, and if you saw the wiring in this configuration here, you would have no idea how I ever actually brought this stuff back from Hialeah that day and reconfigured it. All right, a lot of fun being with you. It's always a pleasure here on Ion Channel. Tell your friends about it. Google the Defo Show. We have Mike Lubitz. We want to thank Dave Gurgles Gurgley. Did a great job. The Polyman earlier today. Tomorrow, Jersey Kyle and the Gambling Gourmet. Mike Mayo, plus our handicappers, Mark Lawrence and the Professor, on a Deal Volkswagen Degenerate Friday brought to you by Gulfstream Park. We'll see you then at 7 in the a.m. as we leave you now that.
The time.
It's 9:02, people.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to my soul.